Welcome to the Buildcorp NRC review show for round two. I'm here with Mr. Stephen Hoyles. The competition gets better and better.
Yeah, mate, it does. It was a lovely way to start round two. Under lights Friday night at North Sydney Oval, and we saw the Sydney Rays go back-to-back. 2 bonus point wins for them at the start of the season, and Brisbane City retained the Horan Little Shield at home. They lost round one away to the New South Wales Country Eagles, but they came up against a pretty tough Rams side, and they managed to hold on.
Let's check out the highlights from the first two games.
The Sydney Rays have scored 28 unanswered points to drown out Perth Spirit in a wet night at North Sydney Oval. Spirit scrum half Ryan Lowrens got the visitors off to the perfect start inside 4 minutes.
Great start for the visitors.
Sydney winger Harry Jones, the first Ray to find the line. A missed conversion gave the visitors a slender 2-point lead at the break.
Harry Jones, all he's got to do is dive over in the corner and he scores the try for the Sydney Rays. Harry Jones.
The second half was all one-way traffic. 7-star Cam Clark's return to the 15-man game ended after 47 minutes before fly half Angus Sinclair's vision put Seb Wildman over the line and the Rays in front for the first time.
Oh, great work there from the Sydney Rays on the short side.
The home side continued to dominate the second 40, camped inside Perth's 22, and when Damien Fitzpatrick crashed over in the 63rd minute, the lead pushed out to 14.
For Damien Fitzpatrick, the hooker has scored for the Sydney Rays.
Reserve prop Ezra Luxton sealing the bonus point win with this try from a rolling maul.
The Sydney Rays, and we'll see who gets up with it. Fantastic work.
The Horan Little Shield will stay at Ballymore after Brisbane City defeated the Rams, but it was the visitors who crossed first.
They're over the line and it is a try.
The home side hitting back just 6 minutes later.
Side long ball from McIntyre, cross to Gibbon, so powerful. He held off one defender and then planted it down, Gibbon. Excellent.
A terrible bounce was costly for the Rams.
Backs the call. I don't think you can play it down there, Andrew. Play on's the call. Frisbee to Tui, steamrolling to the try line.
Scott Gale squeezed between the defence for the visitors' second, but it didn't take long for the defending premiers to regain their advantage.
Brisbane City now driving at the line is Sammy Talakai, and the skipper touches down under the black dot.
A try from Luke Smart after the halftime siren sent the visitors to the break just 2 points behind.
Luke Smart, and Luke Smart is in.
But City came out of the sheds firing, taking just 2 minutes to get on the board in the second 40.
From Parramatta, Houston, he's over the line, that's a try.
Houston turned from hero to villain when he was showed yellow, the Rams scoring from the penalty.
Hicks. And that's not going to show it either. That won't help.
So we go back to your decision.
City winger Mitch Felsman then put his hand up for try of the season.
Pace on the outside. And they've got runners on the in as well. Stabbing ahead is Felsman. Felsman brings it in! They've gone 100! Brisbane City with an absolute pearler at Ballymore.
The speedster sealing the win with a double.
James goes to the flyer. This guy is quality. Felsman has 2.
Moving ahead to the Sunday games, Hoylesy, and it was a try-fest on Father's Day.
Yeah, it was. The Rising had a really slow start down there in Melbourne against a really good spirited Queensland countryside. Tongan Thor was unbelievable. His running game is something else. I'd love to see the guy get a go in the back row. That's just my opinion. And then going down to Canberra, knew it was going to be a tough game. I did not see the Country Eagles being able to put 60 points on the home side. That was a huge win from the New South Wales Country boys and a disappointing performance from the Canberra kids.
Let's check out all the action.
A near-perfect second half from the Rising have given them their first win of the Buildcorp NRC. The home side crossed first inside 5 minutes, but Queensland Country hit back just 3 minutes later through Wallaby lock Rob Simmons.
Try is scored.
His second-row partner got the next one, set up by Tongan Thor.
He's got great feet, and again, the offload to Isaac Rodder, and Rodder is over for Queensland Country.
And after a third try in 18 minutes, it seemed it could be the visitors' day.
James Hanson's in a lot of trouble in the background there. He's got concussed. He's Priest.
And another try. Isaiah Parisi
especially after this absolute coach killer right on halftime.
Oh, that is not
We talked about championship minutes and
what the Rising wanted.
But whatever Zane Hilton said at halftime to his troops obviously worked. The Rising came out firing in the second 40, scoring 3 tries in 18 minutes themselves to go ahead.
Tuama Lilefano with the try.
Queensland country with no answer as the Rising piled on the pain, running out 14-point winners.
That is Sione Tuipulotu.
The Eagles have preyed on a lacklustre Vikings in Canberra, scoring 60 points before the home side even got on the board.
Newsom, he did this last week, and he's repeated the dose in Canberra.
In a tough day for the scoreboard attendance, New South Wales country produced a perfect first 40.
Perry picks and goes again, and the Eagles are in once more.
But it only got worse for the home side after the break.
The Vikings, they go on quickly through Ryan. Ryan and the Eagles looking for the first points in the second half. Godwin wasn't tackled, now plants it down. The New South Wales Country Eagles are shredding the Vikings.
It just kept getting better for the visitors with these 2 bits of brilliance.
Before getting pinged, Gordon goes on quickly. Gordon to Newsom looking for try number 2. Spins it back in field. Ooh, yeah! Forwards kicking across the park for Robinson, who takes it on the fly and then sets off. That is pure from the Eagles. A touch of magic from Horwitz to Robinson, and they extend it to 50.
Another intercept try to winger Alex Newsom pushed the tally to 60.
Oh, it's been brought in by you-know-who. Newsom. Newsom has Spade on his tail. Newsom takes it all the way.
The Vikings finally giving the home fans something to cheer about just after the hour mark.
Jackson Hope gets past a couple. Andrew Smith is going to post the Vikings' first try of the match in the 63rd minute.
They got 4 more before the final whistle. Too little too late, however. Eagles running out 32-point winners.
On their points differential. They're finishing.
Coming out of that Eagles win over the Vikings, one player who caught a bit of attention, Alex Newsom, he scored 2 intercept tries, but he's actually scored 3 in the first 2 games.
Yeah, product of the Eastern Suburbs Club in Sydney. He's a good young player and he reads the game very well. Most guys that do take intercepts obviously do read the play, but he's done them both at crucial times, right at half-time in week 1, last week at Sydney University, and the first try of the game in Canberra. So a guy to keep an eye out, and that's exactly what this competition is good for. Guys that not everyone's heard of, but starting to do some damaging things. Can play in the centres as well. He's found himself on the wing for the Country Eagles, so a good young player to keep an eye out on.
Here he is in full flight.
Newsom, he did this last week, and he's repeated the dose in Canberra. Oh, it's been brought in by you-know-who. Newsom. Newsom has Spade on his tail. Newsom takes it all the way. Try number 2.
And Hoylesy, the Wallabies squad announced for the next 2 Rugby Championship games. It was good to see some of the boys out on the weekend.
Yeah, it was not only great for young guys like Alex Newsom, this Buildcorp NRC, but Will Skelton gets to go back and get some much-needed minutes. So nice to see guys at different stages of their careers being able to use this competition to springboard into Super Rugby and then on to Test footy.
Let's see how they went.
12 players from this weekend's Buildcorp NRC matches have been named in the Australian squad for the next 2 Rugby Championship matches. We take a look at Wallaby Watch from the Buildcorp NRC. First off in the second row, and Rory Arnold has made an impressive return and got some match fitness playing for the Vikings in the last 2 rounds. Rob Simmons is another one trying to get back on Checkers' radar. He helped out here in the big rolling maul. For the Melbourne Rising, Lepeti Tamani's put his hand up. He carried 3 over the line, including Tongan Thor. Looking ahead to the backs, and it's no secret the Wallabies are depleted after a massive amount of injuries during the Bledisloe Cup campaign. Henry Spate's been named. His performances and his return to the 15-man format hard to ignore. He's joined in the squad by Luke Morahan. He got a double in round 1 for Perth Spirit. No doubt Michael Checker could use his finishing on Saturday night. And lastly, Kyle Godwin's been named to potentially make his debut for the green and gold. He showed on the weekend he'll do anything to get across the white stripe.
And despite the wet conditions at Friday night at North Sydney, the rest of the weekend absolutely perfect for footy.
Yeah, again, you get to go to Ballymore and we see Brisbane City take on the Rams. Always lovely conditions up there. And coming in a nice part of the year, spring's upon us. We're going to see some better conditions and some lovely running rugby.
Let's check out some fan shots.
Looking now at the Buildcorp NRC ladder, and the Sydney Rays are sitting top of the table. They've had 2 bonus point wins to start the season. They're followed closely by the Country Eagles after their big win over the Vikings. Looking now further down the table and defending premiers, Brisbane City are sitting in 5th after their first win of the season. The Western Sydney Rams second from the bottom with just the 1 bonus point, and Todai Kefu's Queensland Country yet to register a point in this year's competition. They'll get an opportunity this weekend against the ladder-leading Rays.
And that's it from us here at Rugby.com.au for the NRC Review Show. Thanks for joining me, Halsey.
No worries, Marty. Brew on round 3, hey?